This is the Pontiac G8 GT. This one is a 2009. Two model years, 2008 and 2009. This one has the Performance Upgrade package, which comes with 19-inch wheels, these nice door chrome handles, red leather seats, and red gauges in the gauge cluster. It's overall a very stylish package, and since it's pretty rare, they didn't really sell too many, close to 60,000 over the 2 years in 3 different trims. I think it still looks good. This being the GT trim, comes with a 6-liter V8 making 360 horsepower. It brings the car to 60 miles an hour in 5 seconds. So let's start with the outside. I think it looks really good. I think it aged pretty well. Comparatively, the modern version of this would be the SS, which was discontinued in 2017. But this being a 2009, I think looks better than most 2009 cars. Some of the key features I like I mentioned, the upgraded wheels, these fender flares, which are very big and pronounced. I like these are real, these vents, heat extractors. So for obvious reasons, somebody would buy this for practicality purposes and still wants to have fun. Has the V8, has 5 seats, plenty of space, and a nice sized trunk. There are 2 ways to open it. You either have this button right here, or on the key fob, you press this button pretty firm and it pops. It's not automatic, it doesn't shoot up, but that's okay. You lift it open and you have plenty of space. So that sandbag is pretty much all the way back. Let's see. So we'll push that back. So that's as far back as it goes, and then this sandbag shows as far up as it goes. So pretty good amount of space. And then you have some storage over here too that cuts out. This is where the battery is located. In there. And then under here is a spare, and this is the tire inflation kit that comes with the car. And that's the trunk. So let's see the engine. You just come around here, find a latch, lift it up. It's nice, you don't have to deal with any prop. These struts hold it up. And here's the 6-liter L76 is the code, 360 horsepower. I'm not going to go too much into the in-depths of it. It's just a good engine in a very good car. Here's the battery terminals, because the battery's in the back, so you need these up here to jump start it in case if, the battery dies. Here's the 6-liter V8 making 360 horsepower. I like this feature too. You don't need to unlock anything or prop anything on the inside. You just press it and you open up the gas cap, and there isn't too much written on it. I like this color though. There are 3 trim levels of this car. The GT, right here, this example. The GXP, which had a 6.2-liter V8 making 415 horsepower, and then a V6 version of this. Now this being the GT, you get 4 exhaust pipes. This is a stock car, and the exhaust is pretty quiet. Here, let's start it up. I like this. You get these metal pedals. They look really nice, and the feel is pretty good too. So let's see. Now this has the tire pressure sensor is broken, which is fine. It's a 10-year-old car. Those sensors don't last too long. Here's the infotainment system. Pretty simple, it's 2009. Here's your 6-speed automatic transmission. The GTs only came in automatic. The GXPs you could get a manual, and also, but the automatics have this shifting, the manual shifting. I don't like to use it too much. It's okay. It's just not that fast. I like to put it into sport mode, which I'll show you in a bit. So now here, we'll start it up. So a nice little rumble. It's relatively okay. It's not too loud, which is nice if you don't want to be too obtrusive to your neighbors, but once you get on it, probably around 3,000 RPM and above, it gets pretty loud and pretty fast, super fast. So here, we'll see if we can hear anything. You can't really hear too much, but let's see if we can. Just a nice rumble. Okay, so now the interior of the G8. I have these red seats, the red inserts, which came with the performance package. That actually included these pedals, the wheels that I showed you before, and these red seats, plus the red gauges. On non-performance package, you'd have black seats, black pedals, in my opinion, worse wheels, and then also the black gauges. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. It's a 10-year-old GM product. GM is not known for their quality, but I think Holden is one of their better branches, and the quality inside of here is very nice, I think. Comparatively, my brother has a 2014 Jetta, and this beats it in quality and also just the soundness of it. It's a nice place to be. It feels solid, and it's very, very comfortable. So these seats, they hold you in nicely. The bolsters are nice, although there are some quality issues. Right here, this tear in the seat. There's another tear in this seat on the stitching over there. Obviously, since it's a GM product, the headliner is falling down, and we actually used staples to hold the headliner up on either end, and that's a very cheap way and effective way to keep this headliner working. So yeah, the seating position is very nice. The stocks feel very solid. You have the 3 blinker to change lanes either direction, obviously, and you have a speedo to 180, attack to 8. The red line is somewhere around 6,500 RPM. The gas tank is pretty good. The gas mileage is actually okay. If you drive this normally, like I do, I average 18 miles per gallon, which is not too bad. I don't drive too hard, and I'm not grandmaing it either. In terms of storage, it's pretty good. You have 2 cup holders here. You have your center console storage area, pretty deep. You have up here, which goes down, which goes in kind of far, but it's awkward because it doesn't fit an iPhone, which is a downside of this car. Heated seats right here. Storage bins, which hold a good amount, but they could be better. So that's the door close sound. You have door pockets on all the doors over there too. And then that's the storage. Oh yeah, also this back area has this storage right here, which is nice. The back also has its own climate vents. There are 4 in the front and then 2 in the back. Infotainment system. So you have your 6 CD changer. You have 6 different options. And then you have your AM, FM radio. And Sirius XM if you want to pay for it. You also have your aux. Now you have a front aux and a rear aux, which is nice if it's connected. Mine isn't, but that's what I play my iPhone through. It works pretty good. And then over here you have your EQ, which has general settings, and I think I just keep it on rock. And then you have some general settings, nothing too fancy. This is a 2009. Don't buy this car for a good infotainment system. One weird thing that people will probably find is that the window switches are not over here. They will be found over here. Now, they work the same, and I've actually gotten used to it, which is pretty cool because I didn't know that I would get used to it or not. And also you have the mirror switches, which is over here, and then your e-brake. I think it's one of the best integrations of an e-brake. So when it's down, it looks just like the storage unit, which also is a shape that you can't fit an iPhone in, which is funny, but it's okay. And then over here, this is so you can't put anything in here, it's hollow. But I think this is very well integrated into the center stack. So let's go for a drive. So now, I do want to address reliability issues, because if you're looking to buy this car, you want it to be reliable, or relatively reliable. Now, it's a 6-liter V8, so, I mean, obviously, you might think the pros outweigh the cons, even if it's a little unreliable. Since the time that I bought this, which was about a year ago, we've spent, I think, around $4,000 in repairs and just general maintenance. We picked up not the best example, so I think that number would probably go down if you pick up a good one. Now, that does beg the question, how do you determine a good one? Well, I would probably go with one with less miles, and this one has 118,000 miles, which is quite a lot. So yeah, I mean, take what you will. I think it's cheaper than, like, say, a 2009 BMW 335, but I don't have experience with that. But all in all, it's a nice car. So, yeah. Transmission. You have 3 different modes when you're in drive. You have just normal mode, sport mode, and then manual shifting mode. There are differences. I do feel a difference between when you're driving in drive, which is this. This is normal mode, right? And then once you move it over, it's still automatic, but it's sport mode. And when you're in sport mode, I feel that it is more responsive, and it just feels generally like a quicker car. Now, you have a third mode, which is manual mode. You engage it by shifting up or down, and then to get out of manual mode, you move it back to normal shift, and then if you want it back into sport, you're back into sport. And it's very simple. And also, another benefit that I really like is that you don't have to worry, you don't have to worry about having, like, some cars have the PRND-L or PRND and then 3.2, so then you have to worry about going back. With this car, you just slam it back and then you're good to go. Okay, so now we've been driving to get some heat into it for a little bit, and we're just going to show you. So now we're driving in just normal drive mode. So we're just in drive mode, and we're cruising, and it's a very comfortable ride. It feels very normal if you don't want it to be a performance car. But of course, if you want, you can just move the shifter over into sport mode, and it lightens up the whole experience. So you get more throttle response, and overall it feels like a faster car. So here's an example of that. Okay, so now handling wise, it's a very balanced chassis, which means that you have good control, and the steering, it points you in the right direction. It's not a very quick steering rack, but it is a very direct steering rack. So here's some driving. You do feel the weight. It is a 4,000-pound car, but comparatively, a Dodge Charger from this generation definitely feels like a boat, while this definitely feels more like a sports car than a Dodge Charger. It's good for some spirited driving, and of course you can haul 5 people. And there's plenty of room in the trunk. Brakes feel pretty good. They're not the best. They're not going to be a performance car braking system, but for what it is, the brakes work pretty well. I think the tests were 60 to 0 in about 125 feet, which is pretty good for a car, especially at this weight. And the 0 to 60, like I said, was 5 seconds. And I really believe that 360 horsepower is plenty for anybody who just wants a good amount of power but doesn't want too much, because anything above this I feel is unnecessary. When it comes to 360 horsepower in this application, I can definitely see the reason behind it. Merging is extremely easy, and so is just having fun with it. Thank you.